أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Suzy Ismail from Cornerstone, and I'm happy to be with you again on our journey towards Ramadan resilience as we better understand mental health, emotional health, relational and social health from a spiritual perspective. So we've talked a lot about the different tests that we have, the experiences of those tests, and how we can respond to those tests. Now we also want to better understand how our mind and our body and our emotions may sometimes respond to those difficulties. In our last episode, we took a deep dive into sadness, understanding sadness, deconstructing sadness, and recognized that even the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced sadness. But as we journey through the stages of difficulty and understanding how we respond to the difficulty, we know that sadness can sometimes turn into sorrow. Sorrow is a more elongated state of sadness. It's a sadness that isn't just episodic or situational, but it's a sadness that may linger and may exist for quite some period of time. Now when we look to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see that he experienced sorrow as well. And the experience of sorrow for him existed in Aam al-Huzn, which was the year of sorrow. A year in which the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced an elongated sadness after the loss of his beloved wife Khadija radiallahu anha and the loss of his beloved uncle who would protect him and who provided him that strength in many ways. So during that year, that Aam al-Huzn, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam of course maintained his tawakkul, he maintained his trust upon Allah Azza wa Jal, he maintained his reliance on Allah Azza wa Jal, but he still experienced that heaviness. And so many times with us, when we have these heavy emotions, again, we might try to dismiss them or explain them away. We might have others who try to dismiss them or explain them away. But it's important that we recognize that sorrow is a very legitimate experience, and it shows itself in different ways. Someone may experience sorrow for a year, the way that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Someone may experience it for many years. Someone may experience it for a few months. How we respond emotionally to the tests and trials we experience are going to be different based on our circumstances, our experiences, our personalities, and our own generational trauma that we may carry with us. So when we look at Aam al-Huzn, we also see that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam guided us through the process of being uplifted through that huzn, through that sorrow. During that time, during that year, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued to maintain that hope. And that hope is so important because we know that Allah Azza wa Jal is the most merciful. And so he had this hope that when it came to him that he should enter the town of Ta'if and speak to the people of Ta'if about La ilaha illallah, he felt that this would be his opening. This would be his faraj from the year of sorrow. So he entered into the town of Ta'if filled with this sense of hope. And many of us may have been in that situation where we've had a really difficult day, a difficult week, a difficult month, a difficult year, and we feel like this. Once this happens, I'm going to be happy. Things are going to be better. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had that same sense of yaqeen and tawakkul with Allah, believing that it would be better. And so he entered into the town of Ta'if with that hopefulness. But we know that he was rejected from the town, that he was pelted with rocks, that he experienced more difficulty through that journey in the town of Ta'if. And when the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam exited the town of Ta'if, he still maintained that hope. Even though it wasn't necessarily the faraj that he was expecting, Allah Azza wa Jal still sent him signs of faraj, signs of openings, which occurs for us as well. In our periods of sorrow, there are still moments of openings that we have to see. So when Allah Azza wa Jal reminds us, Inna ma'al usri yusra, that surely with difficulty there is ease, sometimes we have to look for the moments of ease. And for the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he exited the town of Ta'if and he rested in a meadow, despite the blood that came out of his blessed body, despite his tiredness, and he sat there, Allah Azza wa Jal sent him a small opening. He sent him the servant of the people who owned the meadow, who came to him with a bowl of grapes. And as the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam took one of these grapes and placed it into his mouth and he said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the man recognized these words and he said, these are words that the people of my town used to say. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, yes, because I am a prophet, just like the Prophet Yunus and the Prophet Nuh and the Prophet Adam. And the man recognized his prophethood and believed and said, La ilaha illallah. And so we see that even in our times of sorrow, there are moments of ease, there are openings if only we will find them. So I hope that you'll continue to join us in tomorrow's episode where we continue to better understand the stages of emotional heaviness we may experience and how we can respond to them. Jazakumullahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum.